Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Cierra and this is There She Goes. And I want to come here today. I'm out here in the car, just finished running some errands, getting ready for the holidays. And I was like, let me let my people know what are some good tips for this holiday season. Travel is back to almost to pre-pandemic time. So it is really hectic out there right now. Okay, you guys. So, Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas, New Year's Eve. What are some tips for people who are traveling out in this time out here in the highways and the byways? So, tip number one, please, 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 before we even get to the airport, right? Before we even get to the airport, I always say to make sure that you have a plan, right? So, have it structured out. If your flight leaves at like 11:10, so that means your flight is going to board at around 10:30, I would say to make sure that you get there 3 hours prior to, so 7:30. And you're like, dang, 3 hours? Yes, because if we're at almost pre-pandemic travel at this time, I know what Charlotte Douglas looks like on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty at all. So with that being said, please make sure that you are planning out, making sure that you're looking at the traffic, making sure you're looking at how long the TSA lines are. If you have TSA or TSA pre-check in Charlotte Douglas, sometimes the pre-check line is longer than the regular TSA line. That's how bad it is, okay? Especially with all that traffic coming in and out of Charlotte, I highly recommend it. I can't speak for other airports. I do know Atlanta is busy, busy, busy. O'Hare, Reagan, JFK, LaGuardia, all of the bigger airports is going to be filling it. So, but I do know, particularly in Charlotte, because I do fly out of Charlotte, that the airlines, like the TSA line, the TSA pre-check line is a lot of times are longer than the regular TSA line. Okay, so that is the first plan, to make sure that you get to the airport at least 3 hours prior to the departure of your flight. Okay, number two, I recommend for you to check your parking. If you're going to be gone for a long period of time and you are going to be parking at the airport, a lot of times the airport will either have where you have to book for the long-term parking. I know, again, I can only speak for Charlotte Douglas. Charlotte Douglas does have for long-term lot 2. A lot of times it will be for reservations only. So you can go onto the website for your airline and book, a slot for you to be able to park at that. So you have parking on the premises of the airport. So I recommend doing that because for me, I travel every week for work. I'm always at Charlotte Douglas, so I always look it up and I will book ahead of time. So, but during the holiday season, if you're not a regular traveler and you're trying to find parking, long-term parking is going to fill up very, very, very quickly, and then you have to park off premises at a long-term parking area, which they book up very quickly as well, because people know that they're traveling during the holiday season. So I highly recommend to go online now, or go, if they're already booked, make sure that you get somewhere that you can know that you can Uber, or to know how to get there, to navigate, to make sure that you're there by that particular time. And if you are going to park, please, please, please make sure that you go online and see if you can actually reserve at your long-term parking area. All right. Tip number 3. Number 3 is very important. I highly live off of this one, because for me, especially with having connecting flights and things of that nature, it is imperative for you to download the airline that you're going to be traveling with. Download their app. Download the app, people. Please download the app, especially with connecting flights, because you might leave from your original destination, from your first stop, and get to the layover, and your gate has changed, and you have this paper here, and you're looking at the board, you're standing in people's way, it's already packed, it's crazy, it's mayhem, it's, crazy, ridiculous, and you don't know that your gate is changing. Now you're standing here with 15 other people in the way, trying to find out where your gate changed. When you go in, you can pull up your app. As soon as you get off of airplane mode, more than likely it's going to notify you, hey, your gate has changed to this place. It also lets you know on the app, especially American Airlines, it will let you know, hey, you need to walk. It takes about a 5 or however many minutes it's going to take you to get from where you landed to your new gate. for your next flight. And I absolutely love that because I can kind of pace myself, or if I'm on a time crunch, okay, I gotta get it moving, okay, because it says it's gonna take me 15 minutes to get from one place over to the next place. So please let me make sure I get off this plane first, right? Or it could be like, okay, it's only a 5-minute walk and I have 25 minutes to spare, so I can go do other things. But please make sure that you do that, okay? Tip number 3, very, very important. Also, tip number 4. I would say this is very important as well, because when you're traveling, and let's say that, you know, I always fly with, you know, my vitamins, and, you know, I always have over-the-counter medications just in case, you know, anything can happen, right? So I always make sure that I have that. I always say make sure that you have that on you. Don't put that in your luggage at all. I don't put that in my luggage. I put it in my personal item. So either in my book bag or my purse, or where I can reach it. My book bag that I carry has a lot of compartments, so I can put them in different places and not have a problem. My liquid, so I have 2 different pouches, right? So I have my regular one for liquids, and that's all I put in there is liquids for my travel size thing. Strictly liquids. After that, I have another pouch, which I call a travel pouch. And I can go into detail if you would like to know what is in a travel pouch. Girl, like, what does that mean to have a travel pouch? I've never heard of that. So for me, a travel pouch is everything that is non-liquid that I need to carry. So I have one for, like, I have over-the-counter meds. So, and it's very easy to create one. I go to the Dollar Tree for most of my items. So I have, like, headache medications, so like ibuprofen, Tylenol. I have some Benadryl, cream and ointment, like a little packet. At the Dollar Tree, you can see this. A lot of times they have it by the registers. You can put those things in there, but I travel with that. But the most important part of the tip is to make sure that you have those on you. I don't like to go running through my stuff, trying to get all of those things, trying to unpack and pulling things out in front of people. I'm just very private about that stuff. So not that it's bad or anything, but I just already want to have it on me, so I don't have to try to pull this stuff out if they have to check my bag, because it's the overhead space is ran out. It's already in my book bag. I don't have to worry about it. It's already in my purse. I don't have to worry about it. It's already on me. Okay. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 is download your entertainment. Download your entertainment. A lot of times with the airline apps, that's another reason why you should have the airline apps, because you can actually watch television from, you know, watch different videos and movies from the app while you're in the air. Or you can also on Netflix. I am a Netflix girl, so I use Netflix, and I actually beforehand I download everything on my phone. So especially if you have children, you're traveling with kids, or just for yourself, you can download these videos. So you can download Cocomelon on Netflix for your kids, different things for them so that they are preoccupied. And just make sure that you do that prior to leaving home, so you're on your Wi-Fi and it's already downloaded. You know how long your trip is. I normally download at least an hour or 2 more than what my trip is. So if I know my flight is about 4 or like 3 hours long, I'm going to download about 5 hours worth of things, just so that I'm prepared for layovers, delays, you know, whatever I'm expecting. I want to make sure that I'm entertained, especially if I'm not going to have my phone with me or have my service. So I would do that. Okay. And I think I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6 for the helpful holiday tips, I would say, is to make sure, please make sure that you have all your important documents with you. Inside of that, I have lots of pouches, right? So for me, when you see my pack with me's and my organize with me's, you'll see that I put my clothes into packing cubes. I put my documents close to me, where they're not gonna leave my sight, right? So even if my luggage, I'm not gonna put things that are valuable in my luggage. I'm not gonna put anything that is of importance in my luggage as well. So with my passports and things like that, it's all going in to close to my body, close to my person, right? So close to me. So I do highly recommend that if you are doing those things, if you're making sure that you have your passport, go through a list, make a checklist, okay? Let's make a checklist. So from start to finish, I normally like to run through everything that I need to do, right? So from the time I get to the airport, I walk myself through that. So like I said, make yourself a plan. So walk yourself through so that you're not forgetting any of your important documents. So that's kind of like 6 and 7, right? So make sure you have all your important documents. And you're like, okay, how can I not forget? You make a checklist. Number 7. Make a checklist. Make a checklist. And like I was just stating before, I walk myself through everything. Whenever I'm packing my toiletries, whenever I'm packing my makeup, whenever I'm packing my like medications or things like that, whenever I am packing just in general, I always follow those steps. So you're like, what do you mean like you follow the steps? So if I'm for my toiletries, I'm like, okay, do I have the toiletries that I need for A, B, C, and D? Okay, first thing I do, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth. Do I have my toothbrush, my toothpaste, my mouthwash, my floss? Yes, check, that's good to go. I wash my face. Do you have your face care routine stuff? Check. Do you have your body care routine stuff? Yes. I literally walk through those steps. And I do the same thing with my makeup as well. When I carry travel size makeup, okay? Do I have my primer? Yes. Do I have this? This is the next thing I do. Foundation, concealer, this and this and that. I have all of that. Okay, perfect. We're good to go now. And then I make sure I packed all of it up. If you walk yourself through the steps of what you do, you're more likely not to forget those things, okay? You're more likely not to forget those things. So please make sure you just walk yourself through those things and make your checklist as you go. That will help you a lot. I'm telling you, that will help you a lot, because you will be going through and you'll be like, oh, I forgot this, or I forgot that. But if you physically walk yourself through the steps of your routine, your makeup routine, your morning routine, you will not forget those things. So please make sure you do that. All right. And last but not least, number 8. I would say to make sure that you are always prepared for what might happen, right? So it's the holiday season. Flights can get delayed. Flights can still get canceled. Have a backup plan. Have a backup plan. If you're on the road traveling, you can still walk through these steps and making sure that you have everything for the road trip. Make sure the car is gassed up. Check those tire pressures. Making sure that you have a backup plan. Let's say you get up the next morning and your car is not working. Are you going to have something prepared for financially, where you can have a rental car set aside to still go on the trip? I like to say for all my trips, I like to have a cushion of between $200 to $500, depending on how long I'm going to be gone, for any adversities, right? Anything that could happen. I need to make sure that I get home. I need to get to the trip and I can still come back home from the trip as well. So I always try to have between, depending on how long it is, if it's a road trip or things like that, making sure that the AAA is up to date, making sure that all of that stuff is good to go. Have a backup plan. Always have a plan B, especially with traveling in the air. With traveling in the air, I recommend for you to have that as a backup plan, because you never know, right? Having that as a backup plan, how far will it take me to drive this? If my flight gets canceled, what does that look like as far as like a hotel, especially if you're at a layover spot, you're at a layover and your next leg of the trip gets canceled, be prepared, right? And a lot of times a lot of times the airline will pay for that. They do pay for that, but you need to be prepared for if that does happen. So what does that look like? So that's some things that I do. I always make a plan B. So these are just some helpful tips. Hopefully this will help someone. If you do want other tips, I will be coming out with for solo travelers, not just female, but for solo travelers, some helpful tips as well, because we all need to have those helpful tips out, right? So hopefully this helps someone today. I'm going to be dropping some more videos, and hopefully this is helpful right before the holiday season. If you would like to have a more in-depth, and like I said, this is just off the fly, right? Some things that I was thinking of, but if you would like for more structured one, more in detail, also if you want to know, okay, what does the travel pouch. What is that, right? What is that? What does yours look like? If you would like that, drop that down in the comments for me. All right. And what are your holiday plans, right? Are you traveling out of town? Are you going to be flying? Are you going to be driving? Are you just going to be local with your family? What are your holiday plans? So please let me know. Drop it down in the comments, and drop down in the comments if you would like to see what is in a travel pouch. What, how to prepare one, how to create one, so that you're always prepared. And also, would you like to see for solo travels? Well, you're going to get that video anyway. You're going to get the solo travel video anyway. So I hope you like this video. Like I said before, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one, y'all. Bye.